Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we turn to talking about Marvel and their comic book cinematic universe, and specifically how their actors and producers and filmmakers are all getting super woke recently. This has been happening for the last year or two, and it's really spoiled the well and ruined the good faith the fans had had with this series for a long time. Marvel started its MCU all the way back in 2008, and they've produced around 15 or so really great movies because of this. But ever since Captain Marvel came around last year in March, things have gotten super woke with them. They've infused everything with leftism. They've added SJW moments all over the place. Sure, they still had a great movie or two, like Avengers Endgame was still really awesome, but the future of Marvel is looking grim. The new slate isn't too exciting, and these woke actors keep talking trash all over the place. Today, we're talking about another one and talking about another woke thing they're doing. They're making Captain America a black guy now. Anthony Mackie was previously Captain America's sidekick kind of character playing the Falcon, and now he's going to take over as Captain America. Here's a picture of him as the Falcon in a previous movie. And what the really that's not the real story, though. We're not really worried about who's going to be the new Captain America. That's fine. If they want to make him black, whatever. You know, Steve Rogers or Chris Evans seems to have retired from the role. So Anthony Mackie's not the worst guy. He's a pretty good actor, too. I've liked him in some movies. He has a good sense of humor, good performances. But what he said today was really, really bad. This recent quote of him is basically him saying he doesn't want to work with certain people. And it comes off really racist and offensive, and I don't know why he thinks he could get away with this offensive racism, but that's the world we're living in today. Things are really biased and crazy, so this is what we're dealing with. The article we're going over is called MCU's Falcon actor Anthony Mackie says Marvel is racist for only having black producers on Black Panther. So the whole point of the matter is it comes from this video. He had a little interview. He was trying to call them out for not having enough black people. And essentially, he's going to get to a point where he says he only wants to work with more black people, like very segregationist and kind of anti-white. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier actor Anthony Mackie recently took issue with Marvel Studios' hiring practices and called it racist in an actor-on-actors interview with Snowpiercer's David Diggs. Here's the video. The around 17-minute mark in the video, Diggs and Mackie are discussing what they can do as actors when it comes to representation on set or influencing current events. Diggs asked Mackie, what do you feel like is the thing you feel compelled to do that is your participation in this moment? Mackie responds, when the Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes out, I'm the lead of the show. When Snowpiercer came out, you're the lead of the show. So we definitely have the power and ability to ask those questions. He continued, it really bothered me that I've done 7 Marvel movies now. Every producer, every director, every stunt person, every costume designer, every PA, every single person has been white. We had one black producer. His name was Nate Moore, and he produced Black Panther. So he's claiming that everyone's white. He seems to have a problem with it. He doesn't appear to like to work with a lot of white people. This doesn't sound like a person who's happy to have been in 7 Marvel movies, which I would be. He's making millions of dollars. He should be super stoked. And he shouldn't be taking this racist angle. I mean, would you say this about the NBA if you went to another company, like say, if you're looking in the nursing field and you noticed it was a lot of women, like 90% women, would you say, hey, there's something wrong here? Like they're all women. All these nurses are women. And there's a reason for this that's offensive. It's like, no, the NBA is black because they have a lot of great black players in this country, and they're the ones that rise up and choose to play that sport. Same thing with nursing, same thing with more males being in, say, the military or hard labor jobs, building houses, digging ditches. And in this case, what we're talking about is there happens to be a lot of white people working in Hollywood. It's not because, oh, they're racist. It's not because they're just hiring white people and turning down blacks. It's like, no, this is just a field. We're in a country. This is the majority. These are the people drawn to the job. There's nothing offensive here. What's really offensive is Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie looks around and says, man, look at all these white people. This is terrible. This is wrong. And that's just messed up. And then on top of that, the other thing worth pointing out, I saw a couple pictures like this. This is the first and most damning one. This is him with his stunt double. And obviously this is a black guy and it's his stunt double. And they're working on one of these movies. He's in his Falcon gear. And it just proves that his statement's wrong. He said every single one. I mean, if he would have said most or almost all, but he says every stunt person right here. And then this picture exists. So what's up, Mackie? What's up with that? Are you just wrong? Did you forget about this movie? Like you've done 7, you might have forgotten what he did, but I'm pretty sure you would have had a black stunt double in all those movies because they pick actors that look like the other actor, unless you're suggesting someone was wearing like a transracial makeup or they had CGI or something. So I don't get that. And I don't get this whole biasness and how they think this is woke. Like they think this is a cool way to be. Like if I went into the NBA and was playing and I was saying, hey, I noticed that like 90% of the players are black. Like, what's up with that? Like, I don't like that. Like, obviously, that would be offensive. That's a racist thing to say. And the same thing goes with this case. He then adds, but then when you do Black Panther, you have a black director, black producer, you have a black costume designer, you have a black stunt choreographer, you have a black. And I'm like, that's more racist than anything else because if you can only hire the black people for the black movie, are you saying they're not good enough when you have a mostly white cast? I don't know, dude. I think you can't be pleased. It sounds like you got a movie with a lot of the people that you asked for, and that still wasn't enough. Like you are offended by that. Like how do you win here? What is the win? That's what you got to think about. Like what would make Anthony Mackie happy? Like in this kind of situation, it sounds like the only way he'd be happy is if everyone in the movie business was black. I mean, that's a little extreme, but what else could he want? Like, does he want 50% of everything to be black? I mean, that doesn't represent the numbers in our country. Like, let's remember, black people are 13% of the population. So are we going with proportions or we just want more minorities and less whites? Like, that's what I see it as. That's how I see this. He's attacking whites. He's saying there's too many of them. And then he's saying there's not enough blacks, even when the blacks have a specific movie that caters to them. It was this epic, monumental, like, phenomenon of that year. Everyone saw it. It was super sweet. I enjoyed it too. We're talking 2018, early 2018. Black Panther was a good, fun time. I mean, it wasn't the best movie. It definitely was derivative and had its flaws. We talked about that at the time, but I thought it was great. And I just don't get this guy. I mean, he just seems like he's really too focused on the race and he should be happy that he's getting a job like this. Like, this dude is Falcon and he's going to be the new Captain America and he's got a TV series and he's complaining about the color of the skins of everyone. It's like, dude, priorities. My big push with Marvel, with everybody, is hire the best person for the job. If you look at it now, there's no reason why you can't say, all right, well, I want, even if it means we're going to get the best two women, we're going to get the best two men, we're going to get the best two this, fine. I'm cool with for the next 10 years. It starts to build a generation of people who can put together their resume to get them other jobs. If we got to divvy out a percentage, divvy it out at least 4. Mackie then states, and that's something as artists and leading men that we can go in and push for and push the envelope. Well, Anthony, I hate to break it to you, dude, but this is already the case. They're already hiring the best people for the job. What implies they aren't? Like, skin color isn't important, is not in relation to what's going on here. I mean, besides the people on camera that might be cast for certain reasons, like you want someone that's from Africa, like Black Panther, or from Russia, like with Black Widow, I believe. Yeah, Black Widow's from Russia. Then the other ones are from East Europe. There's Scarlet Witch, who has to look like they're from Eastern Europe. Thor has to look like a Greek god or like a Norse god, and so on and so forth. Like, these characters on camera have to have certain characteristics, but behind the scenes, the director, the writer, all the people behind the camera, that's already the case, man. I don't get where you're coming from. Like, he's implying there's some kind of racism stopping them from hiring these other races, black, brown, Asian, whichever. But it's not the case. If they were great directors, they would get hired. They're not getting oppressed. There's no racism. There's no one stopping that. Like, these companies want to make money. They're going to hire the best people. They're not going to go with the racism. Even if a company head was racist, they would still hire the black person or whichever just to make the money. Like, that's about the money. This is a business. There's stockholders and shareholders. There's like many people involved in these groups. Like, there's no one person that could just enact the racism. Like, they're going to be checked somewhere down the line by another person over their head, a board of directors, whatever it may be. And it's just, this claim is absurd. It's so ridiculous and it's just so racist and biased. And it just shows this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Mackie's comments come amid an ongoing trend in Hollywood where certain characters can only be played by a specific type of actor. And then they go on to talk about the Central Park story. We talked about how Kristen Bell was a white actress who had to leave a mixed character's role. And the important part to note about that is they didn't want a mixed actor to play the role. They wanted not a white person to play it. They said they wanted a black or mixed, which doesn't make sense because they claim in the beginning they're implying, oh, we're going to get an actor that matches the skin color and background of the character, but that's not the case. They just don't want a white person to play it, and that's the same thing with Anthony Mackie. He doesn't really want the best person for the job. I think that last section was just him trying to cover his butt and try to act like he did care about the quality, but no, he just wants more black people, less white people, and that's the moral of this story. It's an anti-white propaganda. Marvel is going along with it. So is Disney. So are a lot of these cartoons. Central Park was just one example. This also happened in the Big Mouth show. There's Jenny Slate's apology. It happened with The Simpsons, who said white actors can't play minority characters. And then even the Cleveland Brown actor from The Family Guy, Mike Henry, retired. He gave up his role, and it's just going to show this is an anti-white thing. It's about less white actors, less white creators, like anyone else can be put in. It doesn't really matter about the quality of the work. That's just a cover. That's just him pretending these guys are oppressed and kept out of roles because of their race color, but it's not. It's because the best people are already getting hired and they happen to be white. They happen to be a lot of great white people. White people are smart. We have a lot of skills. There's no denying that. We've done a lot of cool things. And this guy is implying that we didn't earn it. That's another thing that's very offensive. It's very racist to say, hey, you only got that position because of racism. Like that would be like me saying, oh, he's a diversity hire. Like he only got this position because of racism, which isn't the case. That happens. But in this case, Falcon was always a black character. And yeah, perhaps he got more prominent positioning because of this kinds of SJW politics. But the point is, he wouldn't want me to say he just got here because he's black. So he shouldn't be saying, oh, these people just got here because they're white. And it's not true. They're already fairly balanced. I mean, I don't even think I could say it's totally fair. Like Hollywood has lots of clicks. It's all about who you know and like connecting and networking. So there's definitely biasness there, but it's not really race-based. It's about like connections and who you know and getting in with the right people, getting in a union. I've worked on a few different TV shows, commercials, and stuff like that, and I've seen it myself. And trust me, it's not a race-based thing. There just happens to be a lot of white people that want to get into film, and they actually do well, and they tend to be really good at these positions, director and stuff like that, other parts too, like stunts and everything. But it's not because they're white. It's not because of racism. It's because of skill, hard work, and a lot to do with connections and who you know. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think by commenting your thoughts below. Also hit that like button to help this thing get shared. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, bell for notifications. Check out our second channel, NoBS News, and until next time, have a great day.